So the first thing that we want to do when starting a search is to log in. Most of the SAR PCs will already be logged in as Hasty Squad, but if not, log in first. From our scenario and the callout, we know that the ICP is going to be at Rankin Park in Martinez. So let's search to see if we can actually find that. And it's easier to put the search in than it is to actually go ahead and try to drag your map around to find it. So we'll zoom in. Okay, this could very well be it. Now, in looking at this, we go, the next thing is, let's pick a good map here just to be able to work with to make sure that we have the park. So for right now, I'm going to use the Google satellite, and I can look down, and yes, this looks like the park. Here's the parking lot. Here's the subject's car that we were told about, and here's where we'll be setting up the ICP. So the next thing we do then is to add a marker, and it is called ICP. We're going to come down to Style, and this is the standard marker for Incident Command Post is that blue and white flag. Let's also put in a marker for the last known place. This will also become, and I need to change that. And we're going to use this one for the last known place. Okay. Having done those two items, the next thing that we always want to do is save the map. So we're going to call this edX demo. It's going to save it to our account. It's going to be viewable with the URL, and I'm going to add our password to it. Okay. Yeah, this keyboard on this screen, or me, seems to do capitals all the time. Okay, so we've saved it, we've given it a password, which means that other people will now be able to write to this map if they know the password. So we always want to do this. This will allow planning to add new assignments onto the map. It'll allow comms to occasionally update where a clue might be found, and to mark teams as having come in and come out, starting or stopped an assignment. Okay, so now that we've saved the map, the next thing that I like to do is, as long as we know the area, we know that it was going to go up into the hills in this area. Let's print out a couple of small searcher maps. Now, you cannot print any of the Google Maps. So we cannot print map, terrain, satellite, or hybrid. But instead we can, and a map that I like to use is hiking trails. So you can see a lot of the hiking trails right here, and the subject, the possibility is our subject decided to follow those trails. So I'm going to print off a couple of these, or I'm going to create one first. Okay, and we're going to talk more about printing maps in a separate section, but you can watch the process here. First, it seems to work for us that a landscape map often tends to work better than portrait. We're going to assume that he's actually lost in the hills and he hasn't gone into the town. So I'm going to print a map. Yeah, that looks about, well, actually, I'm going to shrink that down a little bit. Okay, I'm going to print a map like this. This allows us to hand these out to our searchers, so anybody who's out on the hasty search can get out there and hand draw their assignment on the map. Okay, now in this case, I am going to put a title on it. Now, whereas I tend not to put UTMs on the screen, I often tend to do them on maps. They'll probably show it around each kilometer, and it allows people to estimate a lot easier how far they might have to go or how far they've gone. On a small map, icon size of 1 works out very well. On a 3 by 4 foot map, you really need an icon size of closer to 4 because the 1x icons are way too small. We're going to save this in our account. We will get a QR code automatically. We do not have to enter a QR code. We will get one automatically when we print this. And so now I'm going to generate the PDF. Now that's going to take a second. It's actually going to take perhaps a minute or longer for that to print off. So I'm going to come back into here. And having done that, I'm also now going to make sure that I will take one of those maps that I printed and I will show it to our search manager to make sure that that follows what he needs to see. So here's the map that would go out to the search teams, the hasty people that might be doing some trail running out here to try to find our missing person. But that might not be the map that I give to the search manager, but I will show him one of those, ask him or her, is this a good map for what you want? If it is, then I'm going to turn around and create 2 very large maps of the same, and I will be giving those to planning and to operations. So because we logged in as Coco SAR, we can actually print 3 by 4 maps. If not, if you're only logged in as yourself or you don't have a pro account, all you're allowed to do is print up to 11.5 inches. And so everything else stays the same. I'm not actually going to generate the PDF for the large map because that takes way too long. But you can assume what you would see is the same map that we're looking at right here, but you would see it 3 feet by 4 feet, so you'd get some pretty good detail on it.